And we are going. Waiting for this to turn green, and we're going to kick this off. We're going to do something a little bit differently. I'm not sure why this happened. Okay. Yeah, so we had some glitches starting this, so we're just going to come out guns a-blazing. How is everybody doing on this awesome Sunday morning, depending where you are in the world? It is Sunday evening. Actually, it's Sunday night here in Chiang Mai, Thailand, where I am from. And I'm going to apologize right out of the gate because I am having all sorts of problems here on the computer. I've got things popping up and things not working. So it's going to be one of those nights, but we're going to power through because that's what we do in Live Happens, ladies and gentlemen. And we don't let little things like random software mess up our screen. Now, today I'm going to be answering your YouTuber questions, specifically your mobile YouTuber questions, your mobile creator questions. And we're also going to be discussing the FTC. We're going to be talking about COPPA. We're going to be talking about what this means to your channel. Is your channel safe? Do you make kids content? Do you not make kids content? You can't hear? Somebody just said you can't hear me. Audio's good, guys. Give me a thumbs up if your audio's good. Okay, Ultron, somebody says you can't hear. Okay, yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing great. Yeah. So look, I know there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of bad advice going around. There's a lot of fear-mongering going around, and we're going to address some of that today. Hopefully, we're going to bring some other creators on. Okay, we're good. Hey, Daisy Noib, audio is good. Great. So we're going to bring some other creators on a little bit later. We're going to talk about that. We did this last weekend, and you guys seem to like that, and we answered a lot of your questions. Now, if you do have a question, we do have the link down in the description below, so please run over there, drop your questions in the form. It is first come, first serve. Make sure that's actually working because everything else has been breaking here today. And what we're not going to do today, we are not doing channel reviews. So if you're asking about channel reviews, the answer is going to be nope, that's not going to happen. Now, today's show is brought to you by TubeBuddy, #1 browser plugin and growth app for YouTubers. Link down in the description below for that as well. It's going to work on your favorite desktop browser as well as Android and iPhone or Android and iOS devices. So make sure you get that in if you don't already, but I know most of you guys have that because you watch my channel. You know how helpful of a tool TubeBuddy is. Lil Wolf Potato coming in with the first super chat. Thank you so much. It says, hello. Well, hello. How are you doing? Scully's House of Thrillers. How's it going, sir? Hope you are doing well. Live streaming pros in the house. How's it going? Says Danny, not true. Don't even know what that's talking about. But it's probably not true. Andy Marshall, how are you doing? Where's the link for the questions? Down in the description. And I need to double check to make sure it's down there. I hope it's down there. Yeah, okay. If you go down to the description, right underneath this live stream, you're going to see ask your question here with a link. That's going to open up a form. Go ahead and drop your question in the form. Thank you, Armand Plays Gaming. Hope you are doing well. Now, how many of you guys in here watched Ian Corzine's latest video, the bombshell that he dropped yesterday about YouTube not giving us a third choice? So currently, as it stands, we have for children and we have not for children. Now, that kind of puts people on the fence. I'm going to shut this down here. That puts people on the fence. Am I for children? Am I not for children? Now, for most of us, it makes common sense. Look, and I'm just going to address this right now because I'm getting some ridiculous comments on this. Okay, use your head here. Use your head. You know, when you created the videos, you know, when you hit record, you knew when you uploaded the video, you knew when you made your title, you knew when you made your thumbnail, you knew who your target audience was. You knew then if you were trying to attract kids or not. You knew if that video was made for children or not. You knew then. Now, all of a sudden, nobody knows. I don't know. Am I for kids? Am I not for kids? I don't know. I don't know. Tell me, what should I do? You knew when you recorded the video who your target audience was. Now, there are some channels that are in the gray area. Absolutely. If you are a collectibles channel, a toys collectible channel, maybe you collect dolls. Maybe I know we have Ron's Trains and Things who often pops up in here. If that's somebody where you're collecting toys that could be considered child's toys, yeah, you're in a gray area there. And I do feel for you. But for everyone else, use your head. Stop panicking and use your head. Now, gamers, you do have a little bit of an exception here for some games. Like if you're playing some of the versions of Minecraft where the age rating on Minecraft is 13 plus, I believe. Or I'm sorry, 7 plus, 7 years old and up. So for Minecraft, yeah, I might be a little bit worried. Fortnite, yeah, I don't know. Some of those skins could be appealing to children. But Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, if you are violently killing people in your games, I'm going to bet that your game is not for children. But use your head here. Like, I have people leaving comments that say things like, hey, hey, I'm a logger in Canada and I teach people how to cut down trees with a chainsaw. Do you think my videos are for children or not? Come on, man. Just use your head. Now, Andy Marshall, he's one of those people. He's in that gray area. He says, I know my target audience isn't kids, but I'm creating kids' books. Yeah, Andy falls into the gray area there. He's right on that line. He's creating children's books, but he's teaching adults how to create children's books. Definitely in the gray area there. See what this is. Fully Involved Media Group says, my wife's 7-year-old plays Call of Duty. It appeals to the younger ones. Yes, it does. Just like kids can watch any video, but you have to think about what the age rating is on the game as well. All the games come with I believe it's called a ESRB rating, which is the age rating for the game. Pay attention to that. I mean, that's not going to be the end all be all. Hey, Tana's lit. How's it going, man? What's he say here? Right, killing is definitely adult content. Let's see what you guys say. Fallout and Skyrim is about killing an M for mature. Yeah, I mean, I think there's some of those games where it's clear that they're not made for children. That doesn't mean kids don't watch them. That doesn't mean kids don't play those games. Sure they do, but it's not made for them. And that's the key here, is content that you made that's appealing to those kids, right? You made that content for that audience. Hey, we have Doug Hewson in here. I'm going to pull Doug in just a moment. Fairy Frequency ASMR, how you doing? Hope you were doing well. WJ says, but my children may like watching trees being cut down. They also like nail art. Yeah, they might like that stuff, but that's not who you made the video for. And in Ian Corzone's last video, he talks about that there is a third option that YouTube did not give us. According to COPPA law, you have not for kids, you have for kids, and then there is a third choice that we should have got that YouTube did not give us. It is for a general audience. So if you're creating content for a general audience, like most of us do, we should be giving that option. YouTube did not give that to us. Ian claims, based on his source, his anonymous source, it's because YouTube can't personalize those ads, therefore they can't make as much money. We don't know. Jury's out on that. So I'm going to pull Doug in here just a little bit. Let's see. Wow is right. Yeah, you've got it. How's it going, Doug?
Hey, how's everybody going there?
I can't hear you. There you go. There you go.
There we are.
All right. So, Doug, I'm going to power through some of these questions right here. Hey, All Things Now. How's it going? She says, I'm personally doing away with my personal homemade comic graphics. See, now, again, that's in the gray area. If you're making comics, like if you're making adult comics, like, hey, I'm making these comics and I know they're going to be appealing to adults. Right? Well, comics also appeal to children in a massive way. So you're definitely in a gray area there. And it's probably, I wouldn't panic just yet. People are panicking. People are deleting their content. They're deleting their videos. And that's the wrong thing to do. Don't panic. Don't delete your YouTube channel. Don't delete your videos. Don't just completely freak out. Hey, Tube Techie, how's it going, brother? Nice to see you in here. Kane the Master, how's it going? Hope you were doing well. Yeah, don't panic, because that's not going to help you. That's not going to fix the situation, because the FTC, they're still taking comments. They're still accepting our information. They're still collecting data. And speaking of, if you go down to the description underneath, so if you go underneath the live stream here, you're going to see ask your questions here. Then you're going to see another link that says leave a comment for the FTC, and another one underneath that says sign the FTC petition. So what you need to do is you need to go to both of those, open them up in separate browsers, and let your voice be heard. This is your chance. If you didn't sign the petition, if you didn't leave a comment for the FTC, and you end up getting the shaft over this, and you didn't say anything, then you really have nothing to complain about. So, Doug, how you doing down in Australia?
I'm doing wonderful here on a Sunday night for me. Yes. Actually,
Right on.
It's Monday morning already. It's 1:30 a.m. So yeah, I'm good to go.
Good. And I believe Nick is in here. Hey, Nick, how's it going? How is your voice? Is your voice good enough to hop in here, little brother? Voice is getting close to normal again. For those of you who don't know, he blew his voice out. He was actually giving a presentation at a local event, and his voice went out while he was doing that. Doug's sound is low for me. Yeah, I can't control the audio levels on this. So if it's low for somebody, you might want to pull it up just a little bit. Getting close, though. Not yet. Oh, he says not yet. Getting close, though. Okay, right on. So yeah, a lot of people are asking questions. A lot of people are panicking, and we don't want you to panic. You have to think about what is your content for. Stop asking questions if, hey, I rebuild carburetors. What should I mark my content for? What do you think? What do you think you should mark your content for? Newsflash.
I don't see too many kids playing with carburetors and
right. Use your head.
Yeah.
When we were talking, it's common sense. When we were talking to Roberto, Roberto said 2 months ago, if I asked you what type of content do you make content for kids or not, you would be able to just say yes or no. But now people, they don't know. If you're in the gray area, though, I do understand. So let's see here. Fully Involved Media Group LLC says, D, that means Nick's content he spoke about was that good. That's why he lost his voice. Yes, exactly. He was bringing the heat, as he always does. Nick does that. So, Doug, I got to ask, did you see Ian's latest video about the...
Yeah, we got off my stream yesterday, and that's about when he dropped it. It dropped right when we finished up. And I watched that before I went to sleep. So,
what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I have mixed feelings. So the first thing we need to is he legit about getting a secret call, this mysterious caller? And I've been subscribed to Ian long enough to trust that he did get a call from somebody for sure. And then and the second thing is, how do we know the caller is who they say they were? Obviously, he's probably withheld some information in the video, not to reveal sources, but he did say it was from a high up person in YouTube management, I believe he said. So Nick says, I don't like the fact it's an anonymous source, and that's the thing that gets me. It's a little bit up in the air, and I was just actually, why I'm late into the stream here, I was watching the new one that Daryl's just put out with Jeremy Johnson.
Yeah, I'm about 20 minutes into that one. Yeah,
it goes for just over an hour. I'm about 40 minutes into it, and they actually touch on that whole mixed audience thing that Ian Corzine was talking about. And they didn't seem to make it out as sort of shocking or anything like that. They just said it was an option. But even the FTC wasn't even mentioning it in all the things that are related to the YouTube action, the settlement and stuff. It's all in other parts of FTC documentation. But when it comes to implementation with YouTube, they didn't mention it either. So they weren't pushing it forward as it's not YouTube withholding it. It's the FTC didn't really push it to YouTube as an option, apparently, from my limited knowledge. But I'm just going off what Jeremy was saying in that video, but I haven't finished it yet. So that's my thought.
I'm about 20 minutes in, and I'm going to agree with Nick on this one. I also don't like that it's an anonymous source. However, that being said, I don't think Ian is willing to throw his reputation away over a nonsense video. A lot of times people, he might very well know who that source is, but he cannot say who it is for their own protection. But if there is a third option for a general audience, and if it's true that YouTube is not giving it to us so they can make more money on ads, first of all, that's not shocking. That shouldn't be shocking news to anyone. YouTube is a company. The goal of that company is to make money. And if that means that they have to give us less options so that they can make money, I'm not really surprised if they do that. You can't be mad at a business for trying to make money. You could be irritated with them for maybe not being honest with us, for not being straight with us. At the very least, I'll respect their decision, whatever their decision may be. If they want to throw us under the bus, throw us under the bus. If they want to empower us and they want to help us navigate this, I'm all for it. I will support whatever they do, but be straight with us. Just be honest. Say, guys, look, or ladies, guys, look, here's what we did. We screwed up. This is the situation that we're in. And because of it, this is what you're going to have to do. This is just this is what we have. All right. This is what we're going to work with. So if you're going to continue to upload on the platform, ABC, this is what you have to do. Don't be shy about things. You know, when they gave us those 10 recommendations to figure out if your content is for children or not, they left out a whole bunch of stuff. Now, I'm curious for the people who was in the chat right now, if you know if your content is for children or is not for children, or if you have a general audience, type that in the chat right now. Type in general audience or for kids or not for kids. I'm curious to see what that balance is of people in the audience is right now. Just general audience, for kids, not for kids. Go ahead and type that in. I'm curious to see where everybody's at. And Dennis Toolbox says, I broke 1,000 subscribers recently. Congratulations. Huge congratulations on that one.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I missed a question here. Where did it go? I saw, so Fully Involved Media Group says, look at what Dan at Creator Fundamentals said. Will the FTC really come after small channels with fines? Also, look at how the FTC said they will determine the fine. So yeah, here's the thing that you have to understand. The $42,530 fine, that's how much, that's the ceiling that they can fine you up to per video. Per video, that's the maximum that they can fine you for per video. That doesn't mean you're going to get, let's say if you are going to get a fine, that doesn't mean that you're going to get a fine that large. It's entirely up to them. They could charge you $300 if they want to. They could charge you $3,000, $4,000, $10,000. It's entirely up to them based on how much they think you're violating COPPA. But the ceiling on that per video is $42,530. Now, the question is, will they come after small channels? My personal opinion here is if they're going to ask for large fines from creators, it doesn't make sense to come after small channels first because they're not going to be able to collect. If you try to get $42,000 out of just general people uploading to YouTube, they're not going to get it. They're not going to be able to collect the money. If you don't, you know, you can't squeeze blood out of a turnip. I blew that one out of a turnip, right? Like if you don't have it, you don't have it. I mean, if you find me, you know, hey, come here. Hey, D, we're going to fine you for 4 of your videos. Guess what? I'm declaring bankruptcy. So guess what you're getting? You're getting zero. So, and they know that. So I think in terms of collection, if they're going for the big bucks, it makes sense for them to go after larger channels. That's just my opinion. Doug, what do you think?
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And even in Daryl's video, you're probably not up to that part yet, but Jeremy Johnson actually agrees with that estimation. He said that it's unlikely. He says, you know, they can, you know, it's in their purview to do that, but he says it's unlikely. They'll go after a small creator. They'll go after a large creator. Somebody who they can, like, I guess, essentially make an example of, which has been bandied about a little bit. Somebody who they can like parade and say, hey, this person done the wrong thing. We've taken action. This could happen to you. Make sure that you're compliant. So yeah. You can count on this. You can count on them making an example. They're going to make an example to scare the living hell out of everybody. Because if they hit somebody, let's just say theoretically they hit somebody give me an example of, let's just say PewDiePie. Well, PewDiePie is not American. They're not going to be able to find him. Who's an American channel? Like a really big, let's just say Mr. Beast. I know he's not going to get hit, but let's just say Mr. Beast. If they hit Mr. Beast or Ninja, they hit Ninja, the gamer. They hit Ninja, multiple videos, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines. People are going to freak out. They're going to completely freak out, and they're going to get in line super fast. They're going to make sure that they mark their videos correctly. So we'll see. Yeah. Let's see. Danella Nutella says, I'm scared. Don't be scared. What you have to do is you need to make sure that you mark your videos correctly. Yeah. You know, I saw a lot of people were posting the type of content that they made when I asked. We have a lot of people for kids, a lot of people not for kids, some people general content. Like, you know who you made your content for. Mark it as such. Now, TubeBuddy just released, hey, Beanie Draws, TubeBuddy just released a new tool
inside of their desktop version. So who has access to TubeBuddy on a desktop computer? Type in yes right now. I know Doug does. And unfortunately, I actually don't know StreamYard well enough to pull up my browser source on here. Hey, Neil, how's it going? So if you have access to TubeBuddy, this is the free version. This part's not going to cost you anything. If you don't have TubeBuddy on a browser, install it in your browser, and they have a free tool right when you go in there where it will scan all of your videos and let you know what your video settings are, and it will let you know who set those. So if you already did like a channel-wide setting for all of your videos, it will let you know that you did the setting, or if YouTube did it, it'll let you know if YouTube did it. So make sure to put that in. It's free. The free version of TubeBuddy will do that for you.
I'm working on my video for that one. It's
there you go.
It's on its way. A couple of days, probably tomorrow.
So the Cubing Bear says, I make videos for Rubik's Cube. So is that for kids, even though I'm not personally targeting kids? For me, I would say you're on the fence. I would say that's a gray area, because Rubik's Cube is definitely a game that a child could be attracted to. I would say you're on the fence. I can't answer that one.
I remember when it came. I remember when it originally came out. Was it 1980s?
Hey, Monica.
That was a very general audience. It was adults playing it, kids. So it was very broad at the time. So who knows? It could be that mixed general audience category that we're talking about.
Yeah. There's a lot of gray area. Gaming, not just video games, but board games, Rubik's Cube, doll collecting, Hot Wheels. There's a lot of adults who collect Hot Wheels, and they refurbish them. They might take vintage Hot Wheels or things they found buried in a yard somewhere, and they'll refurbish these Hot Wheels and make them new again. Does that appeal to kids? I don't know. Hot Wheels do. What about that? Yeah. So the gray area is what I am concerned about. If you're hardline, like Midnight Madness 4x4, he's in here right now. He makes videos about monster trucks. He makes videos about demolition derby, about adult stuff. For 100% sure, he is not making videos for children. I think it is safe to say he makes videos for adults, and he knows that. But on the flip side, you have somebody like the Cubing Bear. They're definitely in the gray area. So I'm not sure. Now, Monica, who's in here with Credit Fast, her channel, she makes videos about how to improve your credit score. Well, I can guarantee you there's probably no one under the age of 18 watching that. So, there are certain channels where you're clearly not going to have to worry about it. Viper's in here?
Yep. Fire.
Where's he at? I don't see Viper. Where's he at? There he is. Man, about tech. What is going on, brother? How you doing? Yeah, Viper. How do you feel about that, Viper? Viper, who do you make content for? I don't think it's children. I bet Viper can tell you. Now, Beanie Draws, he's another one who's on the fence. Beanie Draws, he draws dinosaurs. That could really be attractive to children. So I think these people in the gray area, yeah, I don't know what to tell you on that one. The gray area, we're going to have to wait and see. Definitely don't delete your channel, because a lot of changes could happen before now and January 1st. So we do have time. There could be changes. There could be some tweaks. There could be some clarity. And I don't think clarity is too much to ask in this situation. And it could be handled on a case-by-case basis. So Beanie Draws, he draws dinosaurs, and another channel might draw dinosaurs, but maybe they put some childish sound effects on it, or maybe they play some children's music while they draw dinosaurs, and then maybe they actually appeal to children more than what Beanie does. We don't know yet. Okay, now there's this one. What about commercial viability? So a while back, YouTube, a week ago, right? There's so much information just kind of flying at us. About a week ago, YouTube says, or a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, YouTube says that they had the right to terminate channels that were not commercially viable. People freaked out, myself included. I was worried about channels that, they couldn't make money on. And the rumors started floating around where people were thinking, if YouTube cannot make money on my channel, they're going to delete my channel. And that's still a rumor that's floating around, but that's not the case. They've come back on Twitter and they've clarified that statement. And what they meant was they have the right to remove their own services that they're not making money on. So if they want to come back, like they removed Google Hangouts, for example, right? Yeah. They deleted it. It's gone. So if they wanted to come back and say, hey, guess what, guys? We're going to delete this feature out of YouTube. or we're going to get rid of Gmail. I mean, that's never going to happen, but let's just say they want to get rid of Gmail. They put that in there to delete their own services. No one is going to get deleted because you're not commercially viable. That is a nasty rumor that is going to being spread here. Hold on, I'm trying to read this in the chat here. I do Jamaica patios translate to English. I'm not even sure what that means. Jamaica patios translated to English, not sure.
Is that like a home improvement thing?
I'm not sure.
Patios?
So Just Johnson TV says, can anyone under the age of 18 gets fined? Well, here's the thing. If you get, let's call this for what it is. First and foremost, if you are not in the United States, the FTC is going to have a really difficult time actually fining you. So those of you who are outside of the USA, the FTC, that's an American organization. Okay. They're going to have a really difficult time fining anyone who's not American, not in the USA. What they can do, and they do mention this in their press conferences, when they do find somebody, they say they're also going to terminate your channel. So they could put pressure on YouTube, says, hey, we want to find them. Oh, they're in Switzerland. Okay, channel terminated. So you do risk getting your channel terminated. But if you are in the US and you are under the age of 18, that's probably going to go to your parents. So your parents are going to probably be very upset with you if you were to get fined. So I'm going to jump. I'm going to come into the form here because there are some. Whoa, those are actually piling up really quick.
Oh,
so I'm going to burn through some of these questions that people are coming into the forum here. So from Kitty Love, they ask, do video games count as adult or children? So we touched on this a little earlier on. And for video games, I think I don't think there's not a yes or no answer here, but in terms of common sense, I would go look at the ESRB rating, which is the age rating for the game. If the game is over a certain age, then I might relax a little bit. The only thing that I would be concerned about is a game like Fortnite, where they do have like some of those bears and cuddly characters that could be appealing to children. I wouldn't be surprised if Fortnite removes some of those skins, just maybe. But like Minecraft, we'll see. Doug, what's your thoughts on games?
Yeah, games. Yeah, I tend to go down the line of who's it rated for by the rating board, particularly the rating board in the US.
It's called the ESRB.
The ESRB, that's right.
Yeah.
There are clear ratings there. So if you're making content around that game specifically, I think that you could use that as a guide for yourself. I'd use that as a guide.
Okay, next question from Catherine Plays, who says, hey, if I want to start making animations for my channel, will YouTube consider it for children? Well, YouTube did specifically note, the FTC specifically said animations. If your animations are for children. So if you're making animations that could be appealing to children, then the answer is you might get tagged as making content for children.
Yeah, and they also acknowledge that there's adult animation. So if it's clearly adult animation, that's okay. Like like Japanese anime is, most of that's not for kids. There's probably a few that are, but that area, and it's like Family Guy, I wouldn't call that for kids,
right?
So
the next question comes from the Woodburns. And by the way, if you're just joining us, I have a link in the description below to a questionnaire form. So if you want to make sure that I see your question and answer it here during the live stream, head down there. It is first come, first serve. I will turn these off eventually, so you can go down there and ask your question and I will answer it live. So the next question comes from the Woodburns, who says, with all these new COPPA rules, should vlogs made for grown-ups containing kids with all these new COPPA rules, should vlogs made for grown-ups containing kids in them be marked as for kids? So the way they explain this is that just having children in your video by itself is not reason to mark your content for kids necessarily. But if the actual video itself is made for kids, if the target audience is for kids, then you'll want to mark it as kids. But just simply having a child in your video by itself doesn't necessarily mean it's for children. They went over this. Next question here comes from, Miranda Detailing. Says, is an auto detailing channel like ours safe from COPPA? Some of the laws are confusing. Yeah, so this is kind of what I was talking about early on. You do auto detailing, all right? automotive detailing. You clean cars, right? You meticulously clean cars. I can't imagine children under the age of 13 are going to watch videos of you cleaning cars. Yeah. So this is one of those types of content where I think you're probably safe, because you don't do anything appealing towards children unless you're playing children's music, unless you are making videos in a way where you're trying to attract a young audience. If you're doing that, then mark them for kids. But if all you're doing is detailing cars and you're talking about detailing cars, you're not making content for kids. Hey, John, how's it going? Motivation Theory in the house. How you doing, sir?
Theory, yes.
He says, I went and marked 200 plus videos of mine. Family vlogs is for the kids, just to be done with it. I don't make that content on my channel anymore. Yeah, that's one way to play it safe. Car Galaxy Studios, how you doing, sir? Midnight Madness says, you don't have the option in the upload stage to mark a video that a child appears in this video or something like that. Yeah. That does ring a bell that there does a child appear in this video. That does ring a bell.
Where is that?
The answer is always no for me, and it's set into my user default, so I don't, but I believe that's in there somewhere. Does a child appear in this video?
I shall look.
Yeah, go ahead and have a look. That's actually a great question. But they said specifically, the FTC and YouTube both said that just having a child in the video doesn't necessarily mean it's for kids. The type of content that it is, that's what matters. All right, next question here comes from Ridge Mallory, and this is actually a YouTube growth question. It says, I started my channel and I'm not seeing any growth. I'm just over 100 subscribers. What do I do to get more? My videos are not being suggested. Well, you've got 100 subscribers, so I would say that you are growing as long as you have not engaged in sub for sub or anything like that. And you actually have 115 subscribers. And let me come through and just look at your content really quickly. I'm not pulling any channels up. Okay, so it looks like you've really just started grinding it out in the past month. So prior to that, you've barely uploaded. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You basically have 8 videos within the past month. So you're not, it's not that you're not growing. You actually are growing. Your videos are getting some views on there. But what I would tell you to do is make a lot more content. 8 videos isn't really enough to figure anything out just yet. So I just lost you. Hold on. Let me see what your content is about. My journey to wealth. Yeah, just keep making videos. You know, if you don't have TubeBuddy, put TubeBuddy in. Learn how to use the Keyword Explorer tool. Make sure you get your titles. Your titles need to either be something that people are searching for, or they need to be something really intriguing or something that's going to get people's attention. And go look at your CTR on your thumbnails inside of your analytics to see what your CTR is. YouTube says that anything between 2% and 10% is considered average. So if you find it to be on the lower end, consider changing up your thumbnails. If it's on the higher end, good job. But other than that, just give it time. I mean, 8 videos in the past month. It's good that you're uploading. Just keep going. Just keep going. Keep going, making content. This isn't going to happen overnight. This isn't a quick thing. It takes time. You've got to make videos. You got to make videos. You got to make videos. So I actually think you're doing pretty well considering that you've really just started getting back into it in the past month. Doug, were you able to look that up?
There's nothing in the default upload, so I couldn't see anything without actually trying to upload a brand new video. So I couldn't tell so far, but we'll find out. We'll find out.
And Ridge Mallory, in terms of you're not getting suggested, as you start to make videos that people are responding to better, so you can go look at your audience retention report and you can see the graph to see where people are leaving. So as that gets better, as more people are watching your videos, as they're responding to your videos better, then you have a better chance of getting suggested. But out of the gate, you're not getting too many views. It's probably, I'm going to guess your thumbnails don't have a very high CTR. You probably don't have very good watch time yet because you're just kind of figuring all this out. So as that changes, as you build those skills, you'll eventually start to get suggested. But make sure that you're building playlists. I think I closed you down. Make sure you're building playlists to link videos to each other relevant content. So you want them to watch one video and then go watch another video and then go watch another video. You want people to binge watch your content.
That's right.
That's right. You got that right.
That's right. I was just dealing with some moderation things in the chat there.
Oh, that's right. So those of you, so those of you who don't know, Doug is Doug Houston YT, the infamous moderator, always hanging out in pretty much everyone's live stream on the entire internet. If you've been banned from any chat, there's a good chance that it came from Doug. Roger Wakefield, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Even Lila's saying, D, do you have mods? Well, I'm here. Where's Beanie? Where's Neil? Where are you guys?
Yeah.
I saw you there before. Come on.
So Leela, I have a moderator and I actually have him on camera right now. He's not moderating.
Well, I see Motivation Theory. He's a mod as well. So hopefully he's still in the chat.
Now, Roger Wakefield, because he just came in, we're talking about channels that are for kids, channels that are clearly not for kids. Roger Wakefield is the expert plumber. He makes videos about plumbing, about empowering plumbers to get on social media, about how to fix your toilet. 100% certain he is not making content for kids, so this isn't something that Roger needs to worry about. Video call-in show. How's it going? Good to see you in here too. Okay, next question in the form. This one comes from Life with Cameras. Hey man, how's it going? I've been tossing and turning about what I asked you last week about buying subscribers. My subs really haven't grown, and I think it's time I either buy subscribers now or resort to some sort of alcohol addiction. Please help. You don't want to buy subscribers. So look, subscribers, for as amazing as they are, for as great as it is to look at your subscriber number, first of all, subscribers don't mean views. Subscribers don't mean community. So, subscriber count is, it looks good. Don't get me wrong. I'm thankful for every single person who subscribed to my channel, but it is a bit of a vanity metric in terms of what you're doing, you're like what you're doing with your channel. So, subscribers aren't everything. I would focus on just keep making content. You're a great photographer. You're a great editor. You shoot great video. Just keep making content. Pay attention to what's working. Do more of that. You're doing camera stuff. Do more how-to content. People are always looking for ideas. Hey, how can I be a better photographer? How can I do this? Show people how to do what it is that you're doing, and just keep doing it. And don't ever buy subscribers, because it's a fake number. You're buying a fake number. You're not buying views. You're not buying a community. You're not buying people who are going to continually watch your videos and support your channel and get on board with whatever it is that you're doing on your channel. So don't do that, please.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me hop into the chat here.
Podcastage says, don't buy subscribers. Capital letters. That's telling. Yeah.
Oh, Bandrew. Bandrew, you're interested in coming in, kind sir? Last week we talked about this, and I think you didn't get the stream until late. I would love to have you on if you want, man. I will go ahead and send you the link again if you are interested. Paul Peck says, why do you think we have not had YT membership features activated? I'll tell you, Paul, because they know what's up. They know that we are just going to demolish their memberships, because we're going to get so many people fired up and give. I have no idea, man. I don't know. I have 60,000 subscribers. Paul Peck has 70,000 subscribers. We still don't have our membership feature, and people with channels that are half of the size, they're getting memberships turned on. So we're going to get it, Paul. Have faith. We are going to get it. Let me send this invite out.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, Bandrew, I am going to send this out in the event that you do want to come on, kind sir. Let me find you here. Man, my DMs have just been flooded over this COPPA thing. Hold on. All right, I'm sending you the link right now, sir. There you go. There we go. Mobile freelancer. Yes, you can ask a question.
Absolutely.
That would have been your chance to ask the question, actually. Just everybody in the chat right now, just pay attention. Can I ask a question? And I just tapped on it. I would have seen it if that would have been your question right there. So now there's a good chance I'm not going to see your question. So you're going to have to go down to the form, drop your question in the form. Hey, Magdalena, how are you doing? Nice to see you in here. All right, so I'm going to head back into the chat here, or into the questionnaire. This one comes from Windows XP. I heard YouTube is deleting non-monetized channels. Is this true? We handled this earlier on in the chat. Doug, would you like to tell them the bad news?
The bad news is no, they're not deleting channels if you're not monetized or if you're not making any money. It doesn't even make sense. If you think about it logically, it doesn't make sense, because how is YouTube going to get more creators who are going to grow, get their 1,000 subscribers, their 4,000 hours watch time, and then start generating, AdSense at least, and that's also revenue for YouTube. If they don't have a continual influx of new creators who will actually grow and reach that monetization amount and start generating more ad revenue for them and for YouTube, then YouTube would stagnate.
Right.
Quite simply. That is the logical reason why that is not fact. And it's not a good business model for YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, they're simply not going to do it. This is something they updated the terms of service, and it was worded terribly. And the wording of it basically said that if your channel is not your channel is not commercially viable, then they're going to delete it. And then they came back and they clarified what that meant. And all that means is that they reserve the right to delete their own services. So if they want to delete features out of something, they can do that. So if your channel is not commercially viable for them, according to their clarification, which was last week, no, they're not going to delete channels. Now, there's a lot of bad information floating around about that. And it's, according to YouTube, when they clarified this on Twitter, Team YouTube, it's not true. So Pam's Pretty Plant says, I've listened to so many of these streams, I feel like I can answer COPPA questions for people. Yeah, come on. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's really a lot of we don't know, right? Like if you make videos for children, you're going to have to mark your videos as for children. You are going to lose features. You're going to lose a lot of features. You're going to lose comments. You're going to lose end screens. You're going to lose info cards. You're going to lose your notifications. You're going to lose the ability to have your videos downloaded. You're going to lose the ability to have your videos put in a playlist. You're going to lose stories. You're going to lose the community tab. Now that's channel wide. If your channel is made for children, that's huge. That's a blow. So if you completely are built around children, I think you're in a world of hurt. If you have occasional videos and you mark them for kids, you'll be fine. Those particular videos will lose comments and some features, but overall you'll be fine. Hold on here. Leela says, Haseen, it's money wasted. Just don't do it. I'm guessing you're talking about buying subscribers, maybe. Yeah, this is a valid point, Lily Tree. She says it still amazes me how a company built around communication can be so bad at communicating. Yes, I agree.
Mm. That's been the biggest thing, the biggest complaint about YouTube from creators, probably in the last, well, as long as I've been on the platform, is we want more communication. Tell us what's going on. Be a little bit more clearer. Let us know what's going on. And it's improved. It's improved. Believe it or not, it has improved.
Yeah, you would think they'd be better at communicating, but they're not. And that's really the biggest complaint. I think if they would come out right now, if they would just release a new video or release a new statement right now with clarity and says, all right, guys, here's the deal. Here's what we mean about characters and cartoons. It's not going to affect gamers, or it is going to affect gamers, or this is how we're going to deal with adult collectibles like toys or model trains or Hot Wheels. Right? If they would just come out with a little bit of clarity, it would put a lot of people, there's people deleting their channels. People are deleting their content because there isn't clarity. And I think that's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Moving on to the next question. Yeah, please don't delete your videos. Just don't do this. All right, next question comes from Just Johnson TV. Says, if you are under the age of 18, can you still be fined by the FTC? Your parents can. If you're under the age of 18, then you are your parents' responsibility, and anything you do is pretty much going to blow up in their face. So, yeah. But here's the thing. If you're outside of the United States, it's going to be really difficult for the FTC to actually fine you. So they would just have your channel terminated. Next question here. If I get fined $42,530, are they going to be able to reach me to collect the money because I'm in Pakistan? This one comes from Hassine Plays. And the answer to your question is no. They're not going to be able to reach you in Pakistan. It's not going to happen. Your channel would probably get terminated. There's a really good chance your channel is getting terminated. During the Glucons and Roses, how are you doing? During the press conference that the FTC had talking about all of this, they mentioned, in addition to getting the fine, that your channel will be terminated. So if you can't be fined because you're outside of the US, then you can pretty much count on being terminated.
Yeah.
Hybrid Steel, how's it going, sir?
So the thing to do there is to just do the best you can to comply. It's as simple as marking your videos. It's not like, oh, we don't like your content. They're not coming after you because of your content. They're coming after you because you haven't followed the simple compliance that they've asked creators to do, which is mark it for kids. Is your video made for kids, or is it not made for kids?
Yes. So this was interesting from the worm's eye view. It says, I'm a child minder. I film the kids doing a few things in their day. The parents love to watch what their kids have been up to. It makes up a bit of my daily vlogs, but I'm not making kids content. Yeah, that's real interesting. So you're clearly making the videos for the parents. Correct me if I'm wrong. And according to what the FTC said, simply having children in your video is not enough to necessarily mark your video as for kids. So if you're doing everything for the parents to see it, and it's not something that other kids could be attracted to or something that they would want to watch, you might be okay. But I think you're in the gray area. What do you think about that, Doug? And by the way, we're not attorneys.
Yeah.
Seek legal counsel to be sure. But just based on what we've read, I think I've read through the FTC thing probably 10 times now. What do you think, Doug?
I think in that case, probably something that might push it towards being maybe construed as kids content might be if you start doing a lot of like singing nursery rhymes and a lot of kids play. Like if a lot of that content or a lot of a video was mostly that. Like if you're just interacting with them, that's one thing. But if you're actually doing formal play where you're singing nursery rhymes, playing children's games, then that's a good point. They've actually mentioned that as an example of something to consider. So that would definitely make it grey if that sort of thing was happening in the videos.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. So during the time you're playing with the children and you're recording those videos for their parents, if you're playing games with the child, if you're singing nursery rhymes with the child, that could very easily be considered attractive to children. So yeah, I would say that would, depending on what you're doing in the video with the children, could definitely push you more towards the for children. So it's a lot of this is going to depend on what exactly you're doing.
Yeah.
But go into YouTube right now. The AI has marked a lot of content already. So if you log into your analytics and you go into your videos, they're already going to be marked. Some people have already been marked for kids. Some people are marked not for kids. Yep. So you can go in and see what YouTube has already, if the AI has gotten to your channel yet, which has gotten to a lot of them already, you can see how they've already how the AI has marked your channel. Okay. Christina Smallhorn, how's it going? So Mobile Freelancer says, will music channels be affected? Music channels that cater towards children's music will be affected.
Yeah. If you're like the Wiggles or doing kids music, then you're clearly made for kids. Yeah, I think music is a little bit more clearly defined because you can really tell if a music is for kids or not,
Yeah.
Kids music is specifically made for kids. Once you get into the teens area, it becomes more mixed in with the general sort of popular music scene. So, and then you get all the adult stuff anyway. So I think most music's okay. If it's clearly for kids, you should know that. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm sending out a link here. All right, so the next question from the forum that's down in the description. This one says, okay, this one comes from Gaming Beast, who says, how do I live stream by only using a smartphone? Okay, how do you live stream, or how do you live stream your game using a smartphone? That would have been a great place to clarify that. If you just want to do a normal live stream, you can use Prism Live Studio. You can use the Streamlabs mobile app. You could use Omelet Arcade. There are several apps. I have videos on these, so just head over to my video channel, to the video page on my channel, and just look through the live streaming stuff. But Prism Live Studio, Streamlabs, I would start with those two.
Yep, I agree.
So, Roy, I'm going to grab this one out of the chat right here. What about amusement park channels? Lots of Disneyland vloggers out there. Doug, I'll let you put your 2 cents in on this one first.
Now, I've been to a couple of theme parks in my time, and if there was that general mixed audience, I would say a lot of the amusement park stuff would fall into that category, because adults and children alike like theme parks. Roller coasters are sometimes age restricted by height or whatever, or age or whatever, because of how big you have to be to ride on them. So there's, right. But at the same time, they have a lot of like characters roaming these parks, like a Mickey Mouse at Disneyland or something like that. Now, in this day and age, I don't know if Mickey Mouse is considered a kid's character, because we've all grown up with Mickey Mouse. Everybody's fond of Mickey Mouse. The same about Bugs Bunny or any of the other sort of characters that have been around for a very long time. So I can see there is some gray area there, but then I think depending on how you present your video, I think you could definitely be safe if you edit your video in the right way.
Okay, so my opinion is, again, this is just my opinion, I think these trips to Disneyland are about to come to a screeching halt. Reason being is because they specifically say, if you have characters or celebrities that appeal to children. I can't think of a bigger character / celebrity / cartoon that appeals to children other than Disney characters like Mickey Mouse, for example. So I think if people who are vlogging in Disney World and they're showing those characters, which is going to be hard to do, to not do that, yeah, I think they might. I mean, what? Okay, I mean, think about this for a second. I get it that you're vlogging at Disneyland, Disney World. I get that. And I get it that there are attractions that adults want to go. I want to go see the Star Wars thing, right? I want to go see that. Hopefully next year I'll get to do that. But for most people, Disneyland is a huge attraction for children. Most parents take their children to Disneyland. So I could see vlogs to Disney definitely being one of those gray areas, gray areas, but 1 foot on the 4 kids. So I would tread very carefully with that until we know exactly what's going on there.
Yeah. I have a related question to that.
Go.
There was a video which I didn't watch because I thought it was silly. Apparently somebody's saying that this whole FTC issue is because of Disney. And I go, what? I don't know the context, but if anybody knows, let me know.
I've seen that too. So people left comments under my FTC video where they say that all of this is because of Disney, because Disney wants to. This has nothing to do with Disney. Disney is not some mafia organ. I mean, it could be some mafia organization. I don't know, but they're not strong arming the FTC or YouTube here to drive people to Disney Plus. That's that's not what's happening here. This is because YouTube had an issue, or the FTC found that YouTube was violating the COPPA rules, and then Dan Curry is Creator Fundamentals in the house.
Dan,
let me add him in here. How's it going, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Let me get these reorganized here. Hold on here. And Christina, yes, Baby Yoda is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. So Dan, first of all, thanks for coming in here, man. Much appreciated.
Thanks for having me.
And so Dan, for those of you who don't know, is from Creator Fundamentals, and he has been knocking one FTC video from the Nexus out of the park. And here's another one.
Oh yeah. And
here's another one. And here's another one.
Every time I try to escape, it pulls me back in.
Hey man, you got to get it when you can get it, right? Here's Dan. What are your thoughts? I know you've seen Ian's bombshell video on this. I think you made a follow-up, but I haven't watched it yet.
So, it's interesting because I was actually watching the latest video from Daryl Eves and Jeremy Johnson on COPPA when you sent the link. So, yeah, I mean, on the one hand, you have people, I think there's a combination of things going on out there. There's people that are trying to just dive into the hype and get as much attention as possible. There's people who are truly fearful and communicating that fear and getting everybody else riled up. And then there are, it's kind of glass half full, glass half empty. I'm trying to share the information, but at the same time, trying to focus people on the most productive way to respond, because none of us really know what's going on. There's so many different things. In that video, they were talking about how YouTube didn't really get fined. It was actually a settlement. So because they settled with the FTC, there's a whole set of guidelines that they have to, fulfill with the settlement. Plus there's the COPPA review, and there's just so many moving pieces. We can only hope to, do our best to navigate through it.
Yeah, well said. And I like the fact that you are making so many videos, because there's still so much bad information floating around. People are still running wild with rumors, and the more videos that people can make, I think the better, as long as they're factual information. I made one. I'm not going to do more just because it's not really helpful to my channel, focusing on mobile creators. But I think what you're doing is a perfect fit, and I'm glad that you continue to make these videos to try to, if they miss one, maybe you can catch them on another one to try to give them factual information about what's happening.
Right. What seems to be factual at the time is really the best
at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Trying to navigate through it all. And, but yeah, I mean, at the same time, it is obviously very much related to what I do on my channel. And it's all people who are, focused on some of the things that we're all focused on as creators. So very relevant.
Now, in your comments for some of those videos, I know you're getting a ton of comments there. What would you say is probably the largest, the biggest rumor that's popping up in your comments, or something that you have to set straight?
So one of the disadvantages of YouTube videos as they go out there and get promoted is you can't get people to watch them in the order that they were made. So you still have people coming into the latest videos, because I wanted to do a video about the $42,000 fine and the idea that, hey, your small YouTube channel, or you're just getting started out, they're not going to fine you $42,000. Again, not a lawyer. That's just my opinion. But you still have people that are coming in who are convinced that if they have a YouTube channel, they're at risk of being fined $42,000, and they're simply deleting their content, which to me just seems like I actually did a video specifically on that topic. It's like, wait to find out exactly how this is going to unfold. Don't go in and do something that you can't undo.
Yes. Yeah, that's good. I see people also deleting their channels, and I'm thinking that was a really stupid thing to do, because we don't know what's going to happen come January 1st. Like, they could come back from this because everybody's leaving comments. People are giving them, hey, people are presenting the FTC with things that they might not have thought about. So between now and then, they could say, you know what, we're going to make some changes to this. We're not going to fine you guys more than $4. I mean, not really, but you know what I mean? Like, they could come back with some really good changes, or just come back with clarity to really define what this is going to mean for everybody and the different types of content that we all make. And it's that lack of clarity that's driving people crazy and scaring people.
Yeah. And the other big divide really has to do with, there's people who want to blame the FTC and people who want to blame YouTube. And initially I came out and was like, this isn't really a YouTube thing. This is the FTC, a federal regulation, because a lot of people were like, we're just going to leave YouTube and go somewhere else. Well, okay, well, the FTC is going to find you there too.
Right.
But right. I think YouTube did in the last video that I put out, I think it was Daniel Batal who actually shared the particular conversation on Facebook, where YouTube was talking about the whole general audience, mixed audience conversation, which has popped up recently, which is basically, hey, there's a third option between made for kids or not made for kids. Right. That apparently the COPPA language discusses or makes an exception for. And YouTube actually responded on Twitter to the extent of, yes, there are some complexities with that. We're submitting comments to FTC that everybody will be able to see in 2 weeks. So we'll see how that unfolds. Yeah.
So if you deleted your channel, oops. Hey, Cricket, nice to see you in here.
I was actually in the process of deleting mine when...
yeah. Just everybody who deletes their channel, gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the end of that. It was a good ride while it lasted.
That's it.
So what's your thoughts, Dan, for this anonymous source? I'm not really comfortable with an anonymous source. However, I have absolute faith in Ian and what he's doing.
Yeah, that's a very, I don't know how I feel about that. I tried to communicate in the video that I did that it felt really like it was becoming a TV show.
Yes.
You know, it's like the smoking man from I forgot the name of the show. But yeah, it's all this mystery and clouded, and this anonymous source said this, and it made for, you know, it makes for great entertainment, but you know, it's hard to kind of, I probably wouldn't make any decisions based on an anonymous source. But at the same time, it's not about having to know exactly what to do right now. It's just being aware of what's going on, and trying to adapt in the most productive way possible. Because I think what happens is when people latch on to one piece of information and they start freaking out, then their judgment gets clouded and they start doing ridiculous things like deleting all their content. So, you know, it's kind of a thing that you have to balance out there with. Obviously you want to be concerned, but you don't want to be concerned to the point that it impairs your judgment and prevents you from making the best decisions for your channel.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. We've had people in our Discord who have deleted. I was just reading today, another person deleted their channel despite trying to get the information out there, just telling people, just wait and see how this plays out. We don't know where this is going to go exactly. Don't do anything. Don't do anything, you know, hard. You don't start deleting content. That's ridiculous. Yeah. But they panic. They panic. And I think a lot of it, and you know, there needs to be some clarity too. There's a lot of children on YouTube. And by children, I don't mean under the age of 13. I mean, you know, 14, 15, 16 years old. They're gamers and they're like, oh, I can't get fined. You know, you're not going to get fined as a child. And that's going to go to your parents, first of all. So you're going to get a butt whipping there. But if you're not in the United States, the FTC is going to have a really hard time finding you outside of the USA. They don't have jurisdiction. You're probably going to get your channel deleted, but they don't have jurisdiction. The FTC just can't run around on the earth just levying fines on people.
Right. And the interesting thing to note is, because they've now, and I think that's in the, I'm not sure if it was part of the terms of service or prior to that, that they do have language that indicates that it's not just your YouTube channel, but your entire Google account. So if
really?
Yeah, they can actually terminate your ability to use your entire Google account, which would present a pretty big inconvenience for a lot of people, considering how integrated Google is with a lot of people's lives. So it'd be interested to see. There'd probably be some lawsuits related to that, I would think, if you severed everybody's ability to interact with everything Google touches.
Yeah, if I lost my Google, all of my Google services, that would be devastating.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
That would be devastating. And like, as you say that, like, as you start to think about that, you really start to think about like all of the eggs that you're just putting in one basket. Right? Like you're putting, especially if you're running a business and you're using Google Calendar, you're using Google Docs, you're using Gmail, you're using YouTube, you're using all the services that they have. And if that just disappeared tomorrow, do you have a backup for your business?
Right.
Yeah. I'm probably going to make one now.
Yeah.
That's on my agenda for tomorrow. Yeah.
The things we do in the name of convenience, because everything's in one place and integrated. But yeah, if something were to impact that in a negative way, i.e. the FTC, then yeah, I mean, it's certainly something to at least consider, not to lose sleep over, but definitely something to maybe plan for and think about.
What I'm really concerned about is the collateral damage from this. I think the majority of the creators, if they mark their videos correctly, and honestly, I think they're going to be fine. I think most people are going to be fine. There will be that gray area, like we were talking about before you came on, like adult collectible toys, Hot Wheel cars, antique Barbies and, model trains. There are, there's some gray area there where they might accidentally get caught up in that. So I'm really concerned about the collateral damage for legit channels who are targeting adults, but they're going to get marked as kids and maybe even fined. I'm concerned about those types of channels. So what do you think for that gray area? How do you think that's going to play out?
I actually think the gray area, given YouTube's, experience in doing things in an automated fashion is probably going to become a bigger impact in terms of how YouTube analyzes the content more so than the FTC. Because at the end of the day, if you go down the path of FTC coming to get you, there's going to be people involved and they're actually going to be looking at specifics. It's not going to be, hey, an algorithm decided that all your stuff was for kids. I think context matters. So yes, an automated system might say, hey, this train channel or this Lego channel or something is directed towards kids. But if you had a channel where you were doing something really complex and obviously beyond the realm, like if you were doing adult Lego builds that take, I'm sure that you could make a strong argument just because it's Lego. It may or may not be directed towards kids. Obviously, if you're going in there and you're building, straight out of the package, out of the store, that's obviously going to appeal, I would assume, more to kids than adults because a higher majority of the audience is kids. So you really have to, it's going to be more than, well, I didn't mean to attract kids. If you're doing something that's predominantly viewed by kids, I would say they probably lean in that direction. But there are, one of the examples I made, I think I made it in my comment to the FTC, is my kid loves farming equipment. Does that make the John Deere YouTube channel made for kids? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's that kind of stuff. He plays Farm Simulator and all those, and he loves those kind of games and stuff. But there's a lot of stuff like that kids watch, that kids enjoy. But obviously, John Deere is not targeting kids, even though there may be a percentage of their audience that likes looking at the machinery and that kind of stuff.
So here's a fun fact: as a child, I also liked farm equipment.
It's hard not to,
Yeah. When I was really young, we actually lived on a farm, and I was fascinated by the combines and everything. Going collecting the corn.
Oh yeah, man.
Fascinated with all that stuff. Yeah.
Huge. Yeah. And we actually have relatives up in Wisconsin. He may or may not have been able to drive this massive tractor with tires bigger than our car. So he was hooked. Yeah.
So Sam, this is right on time. Yep. Sam, the Lego expert, chimes in and he says, I'm glad I don't have to worry about the FTC COPPA. My audience is males 13 to 17. Sam, here's the thing. You cannot look at your YouTube analytics and the demographics to determine if children are watching your content or not, because we do not get data that tells us if anyone under the age of 13 is watching our content. We don't get that data. That's illegal for YouTube to actually get that data in the first place. That's part of what got them in trouble. But they don't give that information to us. So if your data is saying that it's 13 and over, that's as low as it's going to go for you, is 13. Since you are younger, I believe you are under the age of 13. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you're under the age of 18. I think you're 13 or 14. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sam. And you are doing Legos. I would say you might be in a gray area. You are young yourself and you are teaching people how to build Legos. So to me, you might be in a gray area. I'm not sure. And all of this is just our opinion. Like, we don't know. Like, come January 1st, we might have lots of clarity that can help everybody define if they're at risk or not, if their channel's for kids, like for certain, like for absolute certainty, like, yeah, not for kids. This is for kids.
And that's, I think that's really important because there are obviously, quote unquote experts in the field. Obviously there's lawyers that are interacting with this particular topic on YouTube, but keep in mind, even the attorney sites that do this have a disclosure that say this is not legal advice. So it's really important that you try to collect information, make sense of it in the most reasonable way possible, and then wait and see how this impacts you and what you need to do to comply with it. Obviously you've been given direction thus far. You need to do that to the best of your ability based on what you think your target audience is. And then, like Dee said, as this stuff unfolds, we'll get an idea of exactly how it's going to play out for all of us and impact each of our channels.
Yeah. Travis MCP. How's it going, Travis? You want to hop in here? Travis, I'd love to get your input on this. Travis, for those of you who don't know, he's actually Travis MVP. He runs a tech channel. And Travis was actually live streaming for the first time. And I thought this was fascinating. He was on Amazon.
Yeah.
Live streaming on Amazon. So Travis, I'm going to send you a link right now on in Twitter. So 1 second here. Let me send you a tweet.
I'd love to get your live streaming machine.
He is. He did 3.
Yeah.
He did 3 yesterday.
Yeah, I caught his first one because it was just after we streamed yesterday, and then the other ones I didn't catch, but yes, I heard all about them. Amazon, wow.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear what was going on with Amazon, Travis, and you have that link. So Dan, you're kind of probably in the same boat that I am, as far as I'm aware. You're primarily streaming on YouTube, correct?
Correct.
And Doug, you are on Twitch and YouTube?
Last night was the first time I decided to multi-stream to Twitch as well, because I had it set up with StreamYard. So I thought, oh, I'll just turn that on and we'll give it a try. Yeah.
Yeah, right on. So Tech Bizshay says, if a 13-year-old has a channel, there isn't a gray area. That's kid content. It's under the age of 13. Correct, gentlemen. It's under the age of 13, because we get 13, right? We get 13 as the lowest age in our demographics. It's under the age of 13, and under. Right?
Yeah. Correct.
Hey, Cricket. Hope you are doing well. And Travis is about to come in here and just disrupt this whole thing. What's going on, sir? How are you doing?
What is going on, everybody?
Players.
Oh, there you. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm very tired, but I'm doing good. I got to watch a little bit of Mandalorian yesterday. A little bit excited about getting into that.
I've only done episode 1 and 2, so don't spoil anything for me.
I've only done 1, so I'll
okay.
Watch it. Yeah. But yeah, you guys talking about this FTC thing, man. It's just shenanigans all around. And Ian Korzai went to town yesterday.
Yeah.
And man, dropped the bombs left, right, and center. And when I think I saw his video when it was like just over an hour up and it had over 10,000 views. I go, yeah, this one's gonna blow up, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
rightfully so. It'll be really interesting to see what YouTube says about all the things that he said.
Now, my take on that, let's say there is a third choice and YouTube just doesn't want to give it to us. General audience, YouTube's like, hey guys, middle fingers, you're not getting it. Yeah. Because they can't make the money on ads. I get that. Right? They can't target the ads there, so it's a lower CPM across the board. It's just they can't make the money, so they don't give it to us. I mean, that stinks, but at the same time, I mean, they're a business. What do you expect a business to do? They're in business to make money. I can't really fault them for trying to set this up in a way to where they make the most money. Well, I can't be mad at them.
But I'm not sure if that so I thought about that. I was trying to understand what he was saying, how that doesn't make more money. My head's still not wrapped around it. So what he's implying, or what was implied by the call to him, was that because there would be a third one, you still can't target 13-year-olds. Is that what he was saying?
Right. So if you mark your videos for kids, you can still run ads, but they can't be targeted ads, which means that they're really low paying ads. Right, which means that YouTube can't charge much money for those ads.
But I mean the mixed one.
Right. Well, exactly, because if it's mixed content, then it could also be for under the age of 13. So therefore, they would not be able to target those ads as well.
So then it still doesn't make sense to me, because a lot of those people in mixed would have to. I mean, a lot of them are going to choose. Well, maybe they're not. I mean, once you choose kids, so what?
You're done. You're done. You're done. Yeah.
But people think they're done for. So there's a lot of people that are viewers and stuff and are really confused by what does that actually mean? It doesn't mean that you can't have kids content, but you might as well not have kids content, because you no longer can leverage all the things that make YouTube great. Right. So that's the part where I don't think we're being clear enough, especially as creators, as to why there's only one or two, there's dead, or there's the regular content. We're not being clear enough to other people, so that maybe we can get some of the viewers to kind of sign up too. Because we have these really cool petitions that are going wild, which is great. But imagine if the viewers were just as upset as the creators. It would be like 1 million signups instead of 100,000 or something.
Right.
Yeah. So we need to explain to them that your kids, and I think Boogie mentioned this, which I thought was really a great thought. I never thought about it this way, where he said, it's going to make it worse, because on the platform, when a kid searches for Nerf in the future, instead of getting, a cool Nerf gun war with all the kids friendly stuff, they're going to have some dude that's wrecking it and because, that's the only thing that's left is adult. It's weird. It's crazy.
It seems counterproductive. If you have people making content for children and you remove the people who are making the content for children, Children are going to they're not going to stop looking at YouTube. I don't care what, that's not going to happen. I don't know what fantasy world you're living in. The children are not going to stop looking at YouTube. It doesn't matter what laws they pass, they're still going to look. But what's going to happen is all that content is not going to be curated to YouTube Kids, maybe, or wherever it's going to be on the internet. I don't know where it's going, but you're going to be left with more adult and more mature content. It almost seems like this is like potentially could just backfire.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. And one of the things that, like, we keep talking about not being able to send these personalized ads to kids under 13. And if you can actually verify the consent of the parent, at least my understanding of this, then they are treated the same way, right?
Which way? As what?
You can collect information from them as long as you have the consent of their parents to do so.
Right.
So if you had a system in place that had a way to verify, instead of, see, they thought they were being cute with the, hey, you got to be 13 or older to be on YouTube, because that kind of put them in the realm of not COPPA. Now we know that that doesn't apply. So let's open the platform to everybody, and anybody who is under the age of 13 has to have some parental element, maybe a linked parental channel that either gives them consent or doesn't, and puts kids who have been approved in one pool and kids who haven't in another pool. And obviously that's going to keep probably a large percentage of the kids. I mean, I know for my kids, I'm not going to opt out of personalized ads. I'd much rather them see something that somebody's trying to market to a kid than, some random adult ad, because they can't do it based on what do they call them? Contextual ads, I believe.
Right. Contextual ads.
I think you run the greater risk of an ad that you wouldn't want your kid to see through contextual ads than you would for something that was personalized based on their actual viewing habits.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any kids, so I don't care if my make-believe kids watch. That I know of. Yeah, I just don't care. Kids watch whatever you want.
I decided to put all my videos off by flipping off the camera and be like, listen, if you're 13, get the heck out of here. If you're 12, get out of here.
Right. Like, just start your whole video off and be like, by the way, if you're under the age of 13, please get off this channel right now. Santa Claus does not exist. There's no such thing as a tooth fairy. Have a good night. Just ruining childhoods, right?
I always think of that. It's funny because like YouTube is really in the news about all this, but I feel like that one GIF where you have that kid that's kind of like this. And that's like everyone else, like Twitch. Why isn't Twitch in the news about that? Why isn't COPPA coming after Twitch and stuff? It's kind of the same thing. You think 12-year-olds and 9-year-olds are not watching Twitch?
Yeah. Well, okay. So this stems, correct me if I'm wrong, this stems because YouTube was illegally collecting data on kids that were under the age of 13. That's how they got their fine, correct?
Allegedly.
Is that correct? Allegedly.
Apparently.
Now, so Doug and I were talking about this yesterday on Doug's stream. Now think about this for a second, and this is the tinfoil hat time. How, keep in mind, Facebook just got in trouble for accessing your camera. Yeah. So how did YouTube know? How are they able to collect data from kids that were under the age of 13 using their parents' accounts? Because it can't just be just because a kid's watching a video, you don't know their age. Right. What if I'm interested in animation? What if I'm interested in kids' cartoons because I'm an animator? What if I'm a pedophile? What if I'm XYZ watching this content? How did they know that those kids are watching those videos in the first place? Unless they're listening, unless they're watching the camera. How do you know? How do they know? How did they get that data that it's under the age of 13 watching those videos? I don't know. Maybe you guys know.
So the way it was phrased, or the way I understand it, is one of the pieces of personal information. I'm used to dealing with like health stuff. I think it's like called PII, personal identifiable information. But personal information, I'm going to do that this entire time.
That's all right.
Includes persistent identifiers, which are basically cookies. Mm-hmm. So YouTube was operating under they're using cookies and they're collecting viewer habits, and that is the collection of personal information. Then they went out to major advertisers like Hasbro and Mattel and gave them statistics that said, hey, we're the #1 website between children ages 2 and 11. And we, more kids come to YouTube than watch television. So they basically did it to themselves, because they were saying, no, we don't cater to kids. But then they were using the fact that they cater to kids as a way to get advertisers.
So they're collecting, right. So they're collecting cookies. Right. They're looking at the user data. But what I'm saying is, can they really, are they that good that they can say, okay, this person watches this video and that video and this video and that video, therefore they must be 12 instead of 13 or 11 instead of 13. Like, are they that good?
I think they come at it from a different perspective. They say, is the content directed to kids? Yes or no? Is it directed to kids? Yes, there's definitely a bunch of content that's directed to kids. Okay, are they collecting personal information from the people who are watching this content that's directed to kids? Yes, they are. And that's kind of how they backdoored it into saying, yes, kids are watching this content and they're collecting personal information, i.e. they're collecting personal information from kids. I don't know that because like you said, there's no kids accounts. These people are using their parents' accounts. But I mean, at least that in my basic understanding of how this all unfolded, from what I've read, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. And I'm just curious, like if the kid was sitting there with their parent, how did that work? Yeah, I don't know. It just seems kind of weird to me how they're able to clearly identify that. I can understand how loosely identify, but to really dig in with the numbers on that, I was like, really?
That's where it's YouTube's fault, though, because if they are sitting there with their parents, there should be a mechanism for them, for their parents to say it's okay, and there isn't. And that would solve a lot of problems.
And you know what I love about all of this? This is the greatest smackdown and throw into the bus thing ever. Is that the whole point of this is
Andrew Can, thank you, brother. Appreciate the super chat.
Andrew Can, if he can, you can. Is that this is all about capturing and holding on to information about the viewer, right? And especially if they're underage, of which creators don't have access to that information. Yet we can get fined for gaining information we don't have access to. That's the part I want to see a lawyer argue, because it's all about holding on to that stuff that we don't have access to. So it's just a matter of us telling YouTube to not do that.
There's one part in there in the FTC where they say, where they're giving you identifiers if you make, content for children or not, if it's directed to children. And one of the things says, if you have empirical evidence that they're watching your videos, where does that evidence come from?
We don't have
that data.
We literally don't.
Right.
Which could potentially be something to alleviate some of the fear that, hey, it's going to be a really hard argument for anybody to say you had specific knowledge of collecting information from kids.
Right.
Yeah. So, last night when I was on Doug's live stream, and I was saying that I'm in the process of gathering up a new blocked words to add to my comments. So anything about age, anything about certain ages, I'm blocking all that stuff, because if a kid does come in and says, hey, I'm 12, thanks for the video, that could be empirical evidence.
Here's the other thing.
I'm 12 years old. My name is Johnny. I live in Wisconsin. Thanks for the video.
And the way the FTC guy talked, and even in some of the FTC blog, they talk about channel owners. I guarantee you they think we have more access to information than we actually do.
Yeah.
I guarantee they think that as creators, we know all of this stuff that we don't know. Like YouTube doesn't give us information about our own channels at times. So how are we going to know about who's watching it? We do have a little bit of geographic data and some demographics and stuff, which is great, but there's so many missing holes in the information that YouTube gives us. So it's weird.
Yeah. So Midnight Madness 4x4 says, you have to remember Edward Snowden, though. If the government is able to spy on Americans, what is stopping companies from spying on people? Yeah, you don't know. Look, Facebook just got in trouble because of they're using their cameras to identify your eyes as you're scrolling. These companies do that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's the biggest smackdown in our time. We are thrown under the bus on this one.
Terrible.
Yeah.
But I feel like in a lot of ways it's not scalable, and it can't stay exactly like this, which is why I'm glad the FTC blog came out the other day, because it did kind of make it seem not as bad. But YouTube can't exist in the way that it sounds right now. Like it can't. If you get rid of like all of those kids channels, when the kids channels are like the #1 channels on all of YouTube becomes a completely different platform. And unless they're going to start embracing all the adult stuff that they haven't been for the last year and a half, which now of course you're saying, well, we're going to help some of the yellow color icon people find some new. Listen, you're going to have to do that across the entire board. You're going to have to take away like all the things you've been suppressing, because if the kids are going away, you need new viewers.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Travis says a tech channel.
I'm not worried.
You're not concerned.
Because it's pretty easy for me. I can say there's no kid under 12 that can afford any of the things I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They don't have a job. They can't legally have a job. And cutting grass is not going to let them buy $1,000 smartphone. I mean, at least I don't think so.
So what you're saying is you can't be a fanboy or a Samsung Knight under the age of 13.
Oh, yeah. I'll go to Judge Judy and tell her. Yeah, I ain't got no $42,000.
Right. Bankruptcy. Hello. Zero. You get nothing.
I like the example that FTC used in a blog. They're like, well, 42,000 or the 150 million that we charge YouTube is not like always the thing, and 42,000 is always the thing. We settled one for 30,000. Like,
right. Right. Well, why didn't you say so? Why didn't you say so?
Yeah. Why didn't you say that to begin with? Let me just cancel my pre-order on the Tesla truck, and I'll go ahead and get you that money. No problem. Well, I mean, what? Come on.
So Dan, you're a YouTube educator. Are you concerned at all? Some of your videos?
You know, I mean, if I fed into some of the mass hysteria out there, you could certainly make the argument, hey, that I make content geared towards YouTube creators, and YouTube is geared towards children, so therefore I make content geared. But I personally don't. I marked all my videos, especially on this channel, as not made for kids. You know, and my other channel, The Average Dan, there's maybe a couple videos in there that I might mark made for kids, just because I made them about my kids, even though that's a gray area, because generally speaking, that stuff isn't really kid driven either. But no, I mean, I'm not personally worried about my content. I'm just waiting to see how this actually impacts all of these massive channels out there that rely so much on ad revenue. And being somebody who does content about, trying to grow a business around a YouTube channel, it's still concerning how many big channels are so heavily reliant on ad revenue.
Yeah.
Granted, above and beyond the ad revenue, they're basically severing every service that tells people your content exists. And I wanted to be in a position where I could be like, hey, listen, this is what you start doing it now. Make sure that you have a great mailing list. But then I'm like, how does the FTC make sure that people under the age of 13 don't sign up on a mailing list? And what is our responsibility on a mailing list to do that? Because any of the services that I've used don't have anything in place that age gates people signing up. And that's immediate access to personal information. You're literally collecting their personal information.
Literally. Yeah. You're literally collecting their information.
Yeah. So
do you have to be 13 to get a Gmail account? I don't know what the age on that. Does anybody know?
I would imagine, right? Have to look in the...
I don't
Anybody know?
But I may or may not know kids that have Gmail accounts.
I know.
Yeah, right.
So then is Google in trouble for Gmail now? Like, what are we doing?
Well, right.
That would be
because technically speaking. Huh. So I'll let you guys tackle this one. So Sarah Dawn says, I figured that if I'm not in the US, my question is, how on earth would this apply to anyone or to non-US creators? If you're not in the USA, how does this really going to apply to you? Like real life? You guys want to tackle this?
I mean, obviously the biggest thing is if you plan to interact with Google and YouTube in the future, then it absolutely impacts you. Maybe the FTC is not going to chase you down for fines, but they could shut down your YouTube channel and your Google account, which would really suck.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that one. I think you'll lose your account. I think if they can't fine you, if they are going to fine you and then they can't fine you because you're out of their legal jurisdiction, you're probably going to lose your account.
Yeah.
Because YouTube is not going to absorb that fine for you.
Not at all. And I think what we're going to see, what we'll probably see early next year, depending on how aggressive they want to be about this, is they're going to make an example out of a big channel or multiple big channels. They're only going to have to do it once. They're not going to come after the mom and pops. I mean, they're not. There's just too many of them. There's a million of them, a billion of them. Yeah. But there's some really big channels that are going to try to skirt around. FTC is going to look for them. They're going to bring them out. They're going to spread them out in front of all the public and sue them and do all the things they said they were going to do and scare everyone publicly. Yeah. And then they'll probably just kind of keep an eye from that point forward. They want to make a public, that one dude, I mean, how aggressive can you be calling us fish in a barrel? That was the most disgusting thing I've ever heard from like a public official besides the other big public official that says things like that all the time.
That was terrible. When he said that, I thought to myself, there's no way somebody in that position just said that.
It was weird.
That was like full, like I just couldn't believe it. Yeah.
It was real.
Yeah.
You don't say something like that. I think because they think that we're all just like, I don't even know what they think. Like, what do they think about content creators? Oh, just some guys, playing around in front of a camera. No, some of these are businesses. Some of these people are employers. Some of these people are your neighbors. These people are creating content for people like you. We're teaching you how to unclog your toilet. I mean, we're doing all of these things that you need.
Roger, the expert plumber's in here somewhere.
Right? We're doing great things. And it's weird to hear someone say that. When I heard that, I literally thought it was a troll. I'm like, who is this guy? This is like a parody, right? I thought it's a parody.
Yeah. Saturday Night Live skit or something like that.
Amazing.
So this question comes from Ginger's Doll World. She says, what about miniatures, dollhouse kits? Is it okay if I don't use the word doll anywhere in the video? Ginger, on my opinion, I think you're in that gray area. I mean, I know what you're making. You're making videos for adults who are into building doll houses, but I think you're in that gray area where it could be appealing to kids. So I don't have an answer for you there other than mark your videos for who you intended the audience for. That would be you're in the gray area for me. You guys want to chime in on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really has to do, like, if you are somebody who's like maybe building intricate, dolls that, like, as if they're models and like putting together houses and things like that, I think it's one thing. If you are presenting them as, toys or purchasable items that people can play with, I think that kind of puts you in a completely different boat. I mean, I certainly,
good point.
So depending on the way in which you're approaching that content, if you're showing people how to build models that happen to be houses or doll houses, you could certainly make the argument it's not for kids, but it all has to do with, like I said, intent and how you're actually contextualizing that, that content.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about like Ryan's toy review. For those who don't know, that's essentially the biggest, most money-making channel on YouTube. And it's very definitely for kids under 13. I'm actually going to watch that channel after the new year and watch the views and I'm going to pay attention to that channel because that one is obvious. And
right.
It's the one the FTC, I mean, the owners of that channel have to know that it's over.
Right.
As far as like what they are used to, they're going to have to pivot in some way. Either the content itself or the strategy by which you make money. I don't know. Like, I assume they get pretty big sponsorship deals too. But when those sponsors see that those view numbers are dropped dramatically because now there's no subscription bell, by the way, question for everyone on the panel and give it your best guess.
Yeah.
They're taking away the notification bell, right?
Whoop-de-doo.
Why? I know, right? Why, if they're doing that, why is the subscription allowed to stay but not the bell? Because isn't that essentially the same information?
Well, what they've told us in the past is they don't really care who clicks the bell or who clicks the subscribe button. They're gonna use all their fancy tools to decide who really wants to do that, and they're doing that based on viewer history. So, I think what they did is they took any system or feature that in any way interacts with the services that actually collect identifiable, viewer habits. They're saying, hey, let's just sever that. So there's no possible way, they can bite us on this. But
well, enjoy your subscription counts while you have them. Because after all the likes are gone, eventually they'll come for those.
Yeah. Then Hybrid Steel says Ryan Twitch channel their own range of toys. Smart. So I guess the money will be unaffected, which is the money will be affected regardless.
They're going to take a hit. Yeah.
But I'm interested to see what happens to the channel. I'm still going to watch the channel.
So thank you for the super chat. First 1,000 hours. He says, do you think people will be able to offer educational services to children under 13 on video on Skype after 2000? Look, man, honestly, like if you're doing any sort of training with children under the age of 18 on a Skype call, you better make sure the parents are there.
Yeah.
just to protect yourself. I would not do anything privately with anyone under the 18 in any sort of educational manner whatsoever, unless their parent is present.
Yeah.
Legally, under the I mean, I think you're playing fire to begin with. Playing with fire to begin with, but I don't know.
You want to be on top of those parental permissions.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't want anything to do with that. So Travis,
Yeah.
How did you end up on Amazon, man? You were streaming on Amazon. How did that happen?
I first of all, I've kind of decided that end of this year, beginning of all next year, my new strategy is to live stream a lot more and stream across different platforms. So I literally this morning just set up Restream. So now my Saturday live stream is going to go all the places. But
okay,
Amazon's interesting because they reached out to me because they have an existing, which a lot of people didn't know about. I know I didn't. They have an existing page of live streams. It's called Amazon.com/live.
Yeah.
And on there, you'll see various live streams of normally manufacturers that are selling products on Amazon. So they, if they're selling the newest fidget spinner or whatever, it could be cameras, it could be literally anything. If you're a seller of that, you can actually do a live stream and that video will show up on the detail page where you buy the thing. Well, so Amazon, what I was told was that, it was doing okay, but they realized that the content itself wasn't excellent because they're not content creators. They're literally like just manufacturers. They don't know. They're just standing there like, so our newest fidget spinner, George, can you hand me the new fidget spinner over here? Okay. So the new, this one does, can you give me, it was terrible, essentially.
Right.
Told me. So
yeah, I watched a couple of those. So yeah.
Yeah, they're not great.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, who can do it better than people that do it on YouTube all the time? So they invited a couple of us. There's another person that D that's been invited. I don't want to say until he goes up because I don't want to spill his own juice. But there's another guy within our little group that's going to be there, okay. And so it works a couple ways. Number one, we still get the affiliate sales, which is cool. So we get the little button underneath where you can click things. So that's kind of fun. It's a new audience to kind of expose ourselves to because as we switch through the different products, we get put on that detail page, which is pretty cool. And it's just a really cool opportunity for someone in who talks about either tech or products that are in some way, like even D, like if they open this up next year, because they're test running it through Christmas.
Well, the reason I ask is because so if you go to the /live and you go down, I don't know if you got to click one or two things, and there's a thing where you can actually go and apply. But previously it was only if you were some sort of a seller or a manufacturer. Right. And then when I heard you were going on there, I was like, wait a minute, they denied me. How is he getting on there? He's not making anything.
No, it's new.
Yeah.
So they're going to test it through Christmas.
Yeah, I'm all on it. Yeah.
Well, you guys should do because imagine here's the thing. You do your live stream even here and you talk about a product once or twice, you put it up and now the affiliate sales and stuff. And so there's an opportunity to make some money and some really cool things with Amazon. So I'm excited about it. I did a stream yesterday. I'm going to do one later today. It's a different type of stream because you are kind of more focused on the products and stuff. I think I'm going to play some parts of my YouTube reviews of certain things, but in general, you're more focused on trying to sell some things so that you can get the revenue and stuff. So I'm interested. It's a cool extra thing.
How was the turnout?
So that's the weird thing. In my chat, and I didn't know this at the time. So every time I change a product, so you at the very beginning, first of all, you have to use iOS to set up the stream. You don't have to stream through your iPhone or your iPad, but you have to set it up and turn it on, turn it off. That's just the way they have it set up. And you pick a bunch of devices. Once you pick a bunch of products on YouTube that you want to talk about, and then you hit live, and this is the part I didn't know. Every time you switch to a different thing when you want to talk about it, you're then put on that detail page. Like I didn't know that. They didn't tell me that. I just thought I was going to be on Amazon.com/live and I was just going to talk about things.
Okay.
So because of that, I know now to focus on really popular products because in a very short amount of time, you can get thousands of viewers. I just didn't know it.
Really?
I thought I was on this one page. You're not. Every time you move the thing, like if you go to a Sony branded piece of product, you know how many people are looking at that page any one time? All of a sudden it says live stream about this.
You're automatically put onto the place of that product.
Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't know
Holy cow.
Yeah. So it go quick. It goes
wow.
Crazy.
So theoretically
Black Friday.
Right? You're making money. Right. So theoretically, if you went through and you did and you chose all the things that Amazon, the Amazon pick or whatever it is, theoretically you could just get swamped with viewers because you'll move from product to product.
100%.
Oh, look at that.
It's crazy. It's but the guy never told me that. I had to figure it out by kind of doing it. And now that I know that, today is going to be I'm going to be way more targeted today. I'm just going to do specific brand types and product types. But yeah, come Cyber Monday, Black Friday, man, I'm going to put in work.
Yeah. If they say, hey, do you know anybody else who wants to do that? Throw my name in that hat.
Oh, I will. And here's the thing. All we have to do is succeed. And I know any of the content creators picked are going to do better than all the manufacturers. So I have no doubt this is going to succeed. And then I believe, just based on kind of the back and forth I had with this guy, that in 2020, it'll just be something that they'll open to influencers, which I think you'll just be able to apply, just like the Amazon influencer thing. I think that's all it is.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
So start picking out your best mobile products there, baby. Get them ready.
Yeah, man.
And here's the other thing. You leverage that against emails that those companies send you all the time that I normally delete. And now I go, by the way, do you want to be like featured on Amazon where people are already buying things? If so, we can negotiate now. So now that's a whole new negotiation thing. Yeah. So I picked up a product that I normally would have said no to. I think you even tweeted about this. You get a bunch of emails about these things.
Yes, the projector.
So I had them send it to me, and now they're compensating me as well, because I'm like, well, I'm going to be on the channel. I'm going to be on Amazon. So let's talk.
That's great. So Nick and I were having, I don't know if we were eating dinner one time. We had this idea, and I know Doug, you probably get these. Dan, you get them. I know Travis, you get them probably more than anybody. We were laughing about, you know what? We should start accepting every crazy Chinese thing that we should just say, yes, send it. And we were talking about what a funny, just make a channel and have all the creators send in all the craziest stuff, and we just break it. We just break it.
That's awesome.
Right? We just break it. So it's like, hey, would you like our vacuum cleaner? It's a perfect fit for your mobile audience. Yeah, send it. And then just put it on another channel and just break it. You know? Try to pick up nails with it or something.
We need something that's above 13. That's above 13 as far as I'm concerned. We good.
That works.
Hey, guys, if you don't mind, I need to answer a couple of questions here out of my form. And I would love to get your guys' input on this as well. Doug, you've been really quiet, so I'm going to toss this first one to you if you don't mind, sir.
I'll take the first one.
Okay, so Fairy Frequency ASMR says, on our main channel, we have a variety of content, mostly family-friendly, all-age content. So if our children and or our grandchildren are in the videos, do we need to mark them as made for kids?
Oh, you give me the tough one to start with. Gee. Well, they do say that's a factor to take into account, is those that appear in the video. So in my mind, I'd be thinking about how often are they there constantly? And them appearing in the video, is that attracting other children to see them? Or is that what's attracting the viewers? They see them on the thumbnail. They see a preview and see the kids having fun playing in the backyard or whatever, So yeah, I think that's in the gray area for sure.
Dan, what do you think?
I mean, I would think if the kids are in any content, if you have your kids in them and they are the main focus, then you're probably going to have a hard time, identifying your content as not made for kids. Just because, like you said, if that's what people see, then they're probably going to be attracted to the kids. But again, like if you just normally do regular content and your kids happen to pass through, like I did a video once where I asked my nieces a question about PewDiePie and T-Series I didn't necessarily make the whole video for kids, but I got their opinion because they were fans of them. But, I think it's really going to depend how they participate and are involved in the whole video.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. Travis, so here's a question for you. What do you think about channels? So this is our next question, and I'm not going to read the whole question out because I can just sum this up really quickly. Channels that focus on wrestling, professional wrestling. Do you think that attracts children?
It does. Is it the primary audience? Very arguable. A really interesting question, because I've heard everyone's talking about video games, because that's a very gray area too. But wrestling is you know what? I'm going to say no, but here's the thing. Based on what the updated blog said on the FTC's website, it sounds like you could make a case that it's a mixed audience / not for kids directly. Now, if you're doing like the animated version of that, and it's so funny, they tried to be clear in it, but by trying to be more clear, they actually made it a little bit more muddy. But based on what I read, my interpretation, you could easily have a wrestling channel that's not made for kids, but you could also easily have a channel that's wrestling that's made for kids. So I guess it just depends on the intent and the message of the videos. It's funny because they say, go talk to a lawyer. None of the lawyers know what the answer is.
Right. Nobody knows.
They're willing to charge you though.
Yeah. Oh, they'll take your money.
I watch wrestling channels, and most of the ones I watch are definitely clearly targeted at adults. But there's channels out there that there's young people who are into the like wrestling, WWE, who are actually just letting their fandom out by having a YouTube channel, but just the fact that they could be like 12, 13 years old, it might be attracting a younger audience purely for that, and they're going to be talking about probably more the safe parts of the WWE and wrestling, the more tame stuff of what's going on in the ring and things like that, rather than storylines and some of the crazy stuff that goes on, behind the scenes and things like that. So I think it just depends on the channel.
Yep. Good morning, Susie. Hope you were doing well.
In the beginning of the year, because WWE has one of the channels on YouTube.
We're going to find out really fast. Yeah. So this next question, I believe it's in response. So whose channel was it? Mark Plyer's channel where the people were getting banned for spamming emojis? Is that Mark Plyer?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So this next question comes in from All Things Nell, who says people are saying that they're getting channel strikes for live chats if people use more than 2 emojis or if they use numbers excessively. Is this true? Can you get a channel strike if your comments use a lot of emojis or numbers?
So from what I read on that is in that particular situation, those channels, the entire channels got shut down. But in the follow-up video that he did, basically said that they were working on it and they were working on fixing that and making sure that it doesn't happen again. To what degree and how long it's going to take them, I don't know if they've disclosed that information yet, but that is in fact, they lost their entire channel was shut down because they were spamming emojis per his request in the live stream.
Right.
But in theory, they're working on making sure that doesn't happen. How they're going to separate the actual spammers versus the ones who are asked to spam, I don't know. But it does seem like they're trying to make changes to that system.
I would imagine that a channel of his size, when he's like, spam your emojis, I would imagine that it's just rain. You know what I mean? Just rain of just emojis coming through.
It's gotta be crazy.
Yeah. So I can see how they may have gotten triggered on that. How spam. Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully they fix it.
Have you ever seen a PewDiePie live stream?
No.
I don't know if he still live streams, but I went into one a couple of years ago. Just a wall of emojis.
Really?
Yeah, you can't even read it. It's just so there's so many people
live for his live streams now. So I don't think as many people over there.
Where's he at?
He's on D Live. So he signed an exclusive live streaming thing with D Live like earlier in the year. So he doesn't live stream on YouTube anymore.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I'm not a PewDiePie fan. So
no, it's really interesting the way he was able to leverage that. Smart man.
Yeah. Crazy. What's he up to now? What's his subscriber? He broke 100 million, right?
Yeah. So he's like at 100 and what is that? 102, 103 million, something like that.
Whew.
Something ridiculous. I'm sure most of those people are real too.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of them, obviously.
What's going on, John? Nice to see you in here. I'm going to take another question here. This one says, who's this from? Relevant Pame, who says, my channel only has 174 subscribers. Will YouTube remove my channel? No, YouTube is not removing your channel based on your subscriber number.
Right.
Next question says, Whimsy Art Creek. I'm sorry, Whimsy Creek Art says, what are your thoughts on art channels? I use a torch. Oops, what just happened here? I think I lost you guys. I lost you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this and let you guys answer this, and then I'm gonna fix this. Hold on. What are your thoughts on art channels? I use a torch in my painting videos. Does putting a disclaimer in my description about a torch help distinguish the video for adults? I'll let you guys take that while I fix this one.
I think the torch makes it pretty clear that it's not for kids, but
I hope so.
Yeah, I would have thought so too.
So there's Ian Corzine has a disclaimer you can put in your description if you go to his channel. He has like a free description disclaimer. Now, does that protect you? Maybe it doesn't, but it does not hurt to put it in your default uploads, which I have done. I've taken the Ian Corzine description disclaimer thing. It is in there for future videos. It's gonna be like, look, leave me alone.
You are putting one in?
Oh, I did. It's already in my upload. So for my next, I think I might even have been in yesterday's video, but certainly in every video moving forward, it's going to be in there.
What's it say?
So it's by Ian. So he's a lawyer. So he did a good job. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'll pull it up while you're talking to me. Put this up.
Okay. While you're pulling that up, I'm going to move on. Well, I'm just going to say a torch. I would say if you're using a torch in your video, it's probably not for kids.
What does the torch look like?
Yeah. Can you define the torch?
Is it a Minecraft torch? Okay.
Yeah.
It's very legalese. So
yeah,
here's what it says. And people are thinking they're going to type this down. They're not going to type this down. It's too much. Proper compliance. This channel and all of its videos are not directed to children within the meaning of Title 16 CFR, whatever that squiggly sign is, 312.2, and are not intended for children under 13 years of age. Travis MCP and its owners, agents, representatives, employees, hereinafter channel, do not collect any information from children under the age of 13 and expressly deny permission to any third party seeking to collect information from children under the age of 13 on behalf of channel. Further, channel denies any and all liability or responsibility of practices and policies of YouTube and its agents, subsidiaries, and any other affiliate parties regarding data collection. Which, by the way, is brilliantly worded because I don't get access to that stuff anyway. So thank you.
Right. How long are you going to play that?
It's just in the description.
Oh, it's in the description. Okay. I thought in my head, I was visualizing because, before movies come on, they do like the FBI copyright thing.
Like
and I'm just thinking
Star Wars.
Yeah, right. I'm thinking like, yeah, well, there goes your audience retention. Like, yeah, I'm running this for 15 seconds. Yeah.
What up, now, old players?
Well, that's good though. You're putting that in there.
Yeah. Right after this very long disclaimer.
Right. Right after this. Right?
Literally.
Yeah, I'd imagine that a lot of people are going to be doing something similar, be it through something on the screen or something in their descriptions. I haven't even thought that far yet. I'm just trying, I'm sure I'll put something. Dan, Doug, you guys have any plans for adding anything to your videos or your descriptions?
I didn't have plans, but that sounds really nice, so I might just add that as well.
Right. Yeah. We're just gonna all copy Travis's.
Yeah. So let me check. It's in my description of my latest video. You can just go grab it.
Right.
It might be easier than giving Ian my email address to download that. So
exactly. Listen, Ian used it as a great opportunity to get emails. I mean, listen, I got props. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you my real email because that was slick. That was super.
Yeah.
So
he's slick.
I got it ready to download.
Oh, you got it too. So is that on his last video or the second to last video, or how is he collecting that?
Jeez, I don't remember. I think it was the second to last video. He mentioned that he had something. I can't remember exactly where I found it. Let me take a look and see if it's on the last video.
Yeah,
that's great.
I mean, shout out for watching my yesterday's video. If you guys want to go watch that and have the description, let me see if it's there. And
right after this.
So if you watch my latest video, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to Travis MCP here on YouTube, I mean, shout out to everyone who goes there and watch that. At the very end of the description, under the description, you will see that disclaimer, and you are free to take it and obviously change my because obviously you don't want to say my name, but anyway.
Right. That would be funny.
Yeah, everyone across YouTube is like Travis MCP. So like, look, I'm good, y'all, but I'm good.
Travis MCP, he's set. He's good.
On YouTube had my name in there.
Yeah, so do that and then put a link to like a playlist or something. Right?
Oh, that's amazing.
Like, man, I'm just getting all this suggested traffic coming in for my playlist. What is going on?
Oh my God.
That should be the thing. You should be like, hey, you can copy this, but make sure you link out to my playlist.
Yeah. I mean, I stole it from Ian, but whatever.
Right? All right. Other question here comes from Golden Cheeseburger, who says, Does the new Marvel Avengers game count as kids content because of the characters from the comics? Its rating is 16 and over for the ESRB rating. I don't know. I mean, there are cartoons, there's characters, but it is ESRB rated for 16 and above. How do you guys feel about video games? Travis, Dan, and Doug, how do you think they're going to play that out in terms of figuring out what games could be child friendly? You think they're going to lean on the age rating on the game, or do you think they're going to just look at characters individually or the theme of the game? Anybody have any input on that?
Bruh.
Your guess is as good as mine, but you'd have to think the rating, at least the ESRB rating in the US at least, would be a guideline they use, because that's one of the bodies that they actually look towards for self-governing that sort of content. So
it sounds like a good defense in a court of law to me.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you don't want to have to end up in court at all. So
yeah, right. Like, here's the other thing, and this is a part that I think a lot of people aren't even thinking about. It's who's going to fight the FTC? Like in order to go against the U.S. government, you need deep pockets. Like, you need to be, you know what I mean? Like, you need to be rich. So I get comments saying, well, if they sue me, I'll sue them right back. I'm like, I don't think you understand the kind of money that you need to file a lawsuit and see that through against somebody like the FTC. So yeah, trying to argue that in court, I think is going to be tough for most people. The average person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless you're somebody like Ninja or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, even he's going to be, I guess I wouldn't be as worried with him because he's on other platforms. Like, his money maker isn't necessarily YouTube. It's live streaming on other platforms. So,
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you got to watch them to see what happens to their channels. And that's going to be a very clear indication.
My opinion is they're going to go for the easiest targets first.
Oh yeah.
I can't imagine that they're going to go for low hanging fruit that they might not be able to collect from, because like you said, like they're going to make an example. Somebody's going to be made an example of. A handful of people might be made an example of, and it's not going to be low hanging fruit where they can't collect from them.
Right.
It would make a lot of sense.
Man.
Yeah, I don't see them going after like small channels or anything like that, because if to get the most
doesn't make sense.
Most impact from the least amount of work is to get somebody who's really high visibility. So,
yep.
Yeah, it just makes sense, because let's just use Ninja, because that's probably the only gamer I know. I'm not a gamer, so we're just going to keep using Ninja on this one. But using Ninja, like, you know, if they hit, and I'm going to pick on somebody in the chat right here. I'm just going to grab somebody random with a gamer type name. Let's go with of course, there's no game. Gamers speak, huh?
VJ Games.
There it is. The DBZ Collector. That sounds like a gaming channel. Or VG Games. There you go. VJ Games. If they go after VJ Games, like, who cares? I mean, not really. I'm going to feel bad if they go after you, dude. I mean, VJ Games is like, what? Like, I care. But you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to make headlines.
Right.
But if they go after somebody like Ninja, that's going to be on ESPN.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
VJ Game is like, what?
D's in the chat, crushing one soul at a time.
The FTC doesn't get you, D will.
That's right. I'm coming for you, man. I'm coming for you. Oh, I'm going to take another question here. I'm going to wrap this up in just a moment. This question comes from, wrong one. I'm a gamer. Nope.
Hey,
we a lot of these are gamer ones.
Yeah.
Hold on here.
I mean, that typically is what it is. I mean, to be honest, like when I do live streams on vidIQ and we do channel audits, I specifically don't pick gaming channels, because when we do the random selection,
it's
going to be gaming channels. It's like, hey, gaming channels.
Yeah, literally, I'm just going from question after question after question, and they're all gamers here.
Yep.
Okay, this is interesting. So this one comes, no joke, it comes from VJ Games. And that was totally random. I just happened to stop on his question. He says, how long will the FTC be on YouTube? Will they go away in a couple of months?
They go.
No. So VJ Games, first of all, man, I hate that you're going to get hit. No, I'm joking.
Hey,
I'm kidding. VJ Games. No, listen, here's the thing. It's not going away. This is an agreement that YouTube has with the FTC. They had to make these changes to the platform. We might get some clarity. We might get some changes, but whatever those changes are, that's going to be something that we're all going to have to move forward with. We're all going to have to deal with that as creators on the platform. Yeah. It's not going away. It might change. It might morph into something else, but it's not going away.
One of the cool things about being online for the longest time was there was no FTC regulation, and now that they have a claw in, it's scary as to what else they can get. Like, that worries me more than anything. They have a claw in now.
Yeah, like, okay, I know everybody in here, and I know you guys. I know how hard everybody works at this. You know, like I think we're all on the same page. We know what goes into it, especially if you're doing this professionally, if you're doing it full time or even part time. If you're making money at this, if you're uploading regularly, if you really have skin in the game, I think we can all appreciate how hard this is. And the fact that they do have a claw in, the fact that they could twist that claw around, they could come back in with two claws. You know, like that's what they're doing right now. A year from now, 2 years from now, like that's the stuff that scares me. That's stuff that really scares me, is where is this going to go in the future? Because when they find out, hey, we just did all those changes and it didn't change anything. Kids are still watching the same old stuff, and now we've left them with a bunch of mature content because we've gotten rid of all the kid stuff. Yeah, that's the sort of stuff that worries me. What's coming? So I don't know. What do you guys think? I know, Travis, you already said you're afraid of it. You're afraid of the future. They got the claws in, man. They got the claws in.
So automation is coming for you.
Yeah. Josephine, thanks for joining us. So Dan, I got to say, man, I love your new setup.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I have the overhead light on now, so it's not quite as dramatic as I try to make it in my videos, but
so you're sitting. I noticed in your videos you've been standing a lot. I like that. You seem to have a lot of energy. You're standing up. I dig it.
Yeah, so yeah, I basically have I stand for my videos. I have my DSLR set up behind my my webcam here. It's funny though, because my webcam broke, so I actually have like an Archon mount that's like supposed to be for overhead shots with a phone, and I have my webcam clipped into it. So it's kind of a, quirky setup, but it gets the job done.
Yeah, it works.
But anytime I go on live streams like this, like, you create this little, this imaginary vision behind you of how everything's perfectly framed. And like you jump on a Zoom call or something, and then it throws your widescreen and you see everything off the camera. So I'm like, I'm going on somebody else's live stream. I'm going to drag the camera as close to me as possible.
Totally.
It'll totally expose me. Yeah.
Yeah, my screen's down. I should pull it up, but then it's just green.
Yeah.
So we have our live streaming set here for Niman Live, and when I do my lives, every single person who walks, same thing, Dan, it's the exact same thing. It's like we're edge to edge, and then like right past the edge, it's just like a bomb went off, and it's just like a complete disaster. And everybody who walks into the studio, we have people come over. First thing they say is, "Wow, we thought it was going to be bigger than this," because everything looks big on video, right?
Yeah.
You don't have scale, so everything looks large. But this is actually like a really tiny set. It's crammed into this little room. And the second thing they say is like, "Wow, there's like a lot going on in here." A light way of saying this is an absolute disaster happening just right off camera.
It's the best.
So yeah, Dan, I feel you there.
Too funny.
Yeah, I have like just boxes and insulation or soundproofing just piled up. It's
So Text Judy just left a message that says my videos are gone. Text Judy, I hope you did not delete your videos. I hope you did not delete your videos. She says, I'm just going to start over.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, if you had all kids content and that's your, I hate seeing people deleting their content. I know there's a lot of people having knee-jerk reactions right now, and they're just deleting. They're freaking out and they're deleting everything. Please don't do that. Are you guys in agreement with that? Just hold on and wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
In a way, I mean, using a little bit of the
unless you're VJ gaming.
VJ's over. Sorry for you. Sorry about your damn luck. No, I mean, use the information we have, and if there's certain things that need to be marked for kids, mark them for kids. But I don't think that we're going to stay in this kind of unknowing situation for too long. I mean, again, someone's going to be made an example of, and then it'll be very clear. But in the meantime, the smaller creators like us, we're probably okay, but don't be flaunting the fact that because you're smaller, you can do things that we've been told not to do, because inevitably that bites you in the butt.
Yeah, I agree with that. So guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Does anybody have any parting words, any advice you want to give people on how not to freak out, or what they, Dan, anything?
I think I've done like 6 videos on this topic.
Yeah.
Feel free to go.
Plug your channel. Plug your event. Plug your event too. Go. Let it out.
Well, if you want to see videos that can help you simplify YouTube, you can definitely check me out on YouTube at Creator Fundamentals. I'm also hosting a conference for video creators and video marketers. It's May 2nd and 3rd. It's called People of Video in Albany, New York. You can get information and tickets at peopleofvideo.com.
Boom. There we go. Doug,
tell people about. You can find me at Doug Hewson YT on YouTube, Twitter, all the platforms. It's all Doug Hewson YT. And stay calm.
Very nice.
Travis, where can people find you?
Mostly on Saturday mornings, I'm in the Niman live stream, because that's what I love to wake up to. However, the last couple of weeks, I don't care if Nick's voice is bad. I mean, that makes it more interesting. That video he did was so fire, where he wrote everything down. That was one of his coolest videos he's ever done. He should do more of those. But he could have done the live stream that way, which would have been hilarious. So you will see me in the live stream.
I told him, I was like, dude, listen, let's live stream and then bring your iPad, because you can write on it.
Yeah.
And like, I'll carry it. And then anytime there's a question, we'll just do like a deadpan straight to you. And you just like straight face, just write the answer and hold it up.
Would have been awesome.
Right. But yeah, he didn't want to do it. All right. So thank you to everybody who hung out with us for 2 hours and 6 minutes. I do appreciate it. Please, and just don't panic over this. We still have time. They are still taking comments. There's a petition going on. There could be changes to this. There might be some clarity. Don't panic. Please don't delete your videos. Wait and see what happens. We have until January 1st. If you're going to panic, at least wait until January 1st to panic. So Doug, Dan, Travis, VJ Games. I feel like I owe VJ like an apology or something, man.
Shout him out the video, man. That's what you need to do. Give him a little.
I do. I need to shout him out. Shout him out and be like, "Yeah, has your channel gone yet, bro?" I'm just kidding, VJ. Anyway, yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Give this a thumbs up if you had a good time. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't have a good time. It's all the same. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for answering the questions. I do appreciate it. And you guys have an awesome day. You're all, except for Doug. Doug, you're going to bed too. Cheers, everybody. Have a good one.
Take care.